everyone, welcome to the Beer Garden. There will be 3 more meetings to go before the season end, and this episode of Beer Garden, we will be talking about our selections in a new way. So let me pass the time to Sarah and Joe to talk about their preview.
Okay, so we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Well, look, it's me and Sarah here. We're missing a couple people for the beer garden, but we'll be taking you through the card at Sha Tin tomorrow, which is our Saturday, and everybody else is in the world on that side Sunday. And Sarah, we got a pretty big card. We got a little bit of everything, some griffins, all-weather track, turf. It's a monster card, and hopefully we're able to find you some winners throughout the card. And Sarah, I know this is a pretty tough card, as we say every week, right?
That was going to be my life, but yeah. It was a really tough card.
A really tough card. And of course, we have the version of the maidens on the first one. So it's the Griffin race, the Pearl Memorial Challenge Griffin race. We're going to start off with race number 1. It is a 1,200-meter race. And Sarah, we do have, I think these are going to be the 2 co-favorites. And it is, of course, Joe Moreira and Zach Purton. They're battling it out. Forever Friends with Joe Moreira. Happy One with Zach Purton. They're drawn next, or no, they're not drawn next to each other, but they're horses 1 and 2. Are you going with one of them, or are you going to go a little bit outside the box?
I am not going outside the box. I am going with the Zach Purton mount and the 2 Happy One. These Griffin races always make me nervous because they're very, very tough to pick because you just don't know. Plus, these are babies. You don't know how they're going to take to the track. But I do like Happy One. He's jumping out of barrier 6 here. He's stretching out in his second run. He tried the 1,000-meter distance last time out, getting a nice 3rd place finishing. Now we're stretching out where he looked like this horse could probably be even stretched out further than this. But I like to see this horse coming in at the 1,200 meters. He had really nice barrier trials at Chung Fa earlier in his career so far. Now we'll see how he does his second time out. And hopefully he can get us a win. But I do think the 2 hot picks, just like you said, are going to be the Moreira versus Purton. But we'll see. There could be an outsider that could come in and take it away from all of us.
Yeah, Steve, we're going to mention Steve's selections as well during our selections, and then Charene will have her part at the end of the show, so you can stay tuned for that. Yeah, Steve is also going for Happy One. I mean, he does have that good debut at $10 on the straight track, so up the straight with Zach Purton again. He drew barrier 9, which is where you want to be on the outside when you're on the straight races. He did have a pretty good debut. He was only off by 1.6 lengths. And yeah, I think he probably will be the odds-on favorite in this race. He does look like it, especially he had the better debut out of everybody because everybody's finished like 5th, 4th. So he's had a 3rd. Caught, like, he was pretty much covering a lot of ground, or he was making up a lot of ground at that in that race. So I am going to go outside the box. I am going to take number 6, Inspiring City with Vincent Ho, because he was one of the favorites in the last race at Sha Tin up the straight. He's only carrying 55. Everybody else is carrying 57. So he is a 2-year-old. But I think that even though he is a 2-year-old, I think that one experience is already going to help him. If it doesn't help him, to hit the board, or at least to try to get 2nd and 3rd, he'll improve off of his last 5th place start. So I'm going to go with Inspiring City. Draw number 5, which is not too bad, but I think it's a little bit better than Happy One. The one you obviously got to watch out for is Forever Friends. I know that one's Joe Moreira is going to try to win this as well. He wants to try to win the Jockeys Challenge towards the end of the year. Barrier 3, Casper Founds, and Joe Moreira is actually a lethal combo. They always seem to get wins whenever they're together. So I think it's going to be out of maybe those 3, hopefully. So Sarah is going to go with number 2, Happy One, to review all of ours. Steve is also going to go on Happy One, the number 2. And then I'm going to go with number 6, Inspiring City, with Vincent Ho. It's going to be a pretty good race, pretty good Griffin race to start off the card. So we're going to progress here. So we go Griffin race. Now we're going to go on to a class 4 race. And this is on the all-weather track. This is the Pervs Quatch Handicap, 1,200 meters. And Sarah, who do we have?
I'm going to take the 7 here, Lucky Ruby with Chadwick aboard. He is jumping out of barrier 7. And we haven't seen this horse on the all-weather track this year, but he ended last year with a couple back-to-back runs on the all-weather track. He seemed to do okay. He seemed to be getting better, seemed to be getting decent form. So it's been some time. Let's have him come back to kind of end the meet, maybe on an all-weather win. We're hoping he should really easily find the lead here. I think the draw sets him up perfectly. And he is kind of slotting in light there at the 55 kgs here. So we should see a really nice run. The all-weather races, I've not had good luck this season. They're tough. And like you mentioned, this is the second race. The first race is a Griffin race. The second race is an all-weather race. So these two back-to-back openers could just kind of kick your butt. But I think Lucky Ruby has a really good shot here.
Yeah, Lucky Ruby with Matthew Chadwick seems to be doing all right last season on the all-weather before the end of the season, because he did have a couple wins with Neil Callan, who's now in Ireland, and Matthew Chadwick again. So he does retain the ride, and he has one with him on the 1200 before on the same class. So he's been bouncing up and down. So yeah, Lucky Ruby, hopefully we get some good value. We don't know what the odds are as of right now. So we're just going to go in blind, and hopefully we do have one that will win for you at big odds. So Steve is going to go with the number 9 Lucky Patch with Zach Purton. He's carrying 55 kilos. He does have a win. Oh, well, Matthew Chadwick was on him on a sloppy track about 2 months ago in May. Seems to be in form. We're looking at the last race we probably want to throw out. He was drawn barrier 11. He was way by like 9 lengths, and on these all-weather races they pretty much play like the American races, like the dirt. You want to be on the speed, or you don't want to be too far off because it's hard to make up a lot of ground. But now he's going to go back to 55 kilos. That is going to be Steve's selection, number 9 Wisdom Patch. I'm going to go with number 12 Telecom Missile. I know we've been with this one before and it's probably cost us a lot of money, but he did have a win the last time out on the all-weather with Luke Curry, but now we get Keith Young on board. Hasn't had the best of draws the last 2 races, but he won on one of the draws in the last 2 races, barrier 12. So he's drawn barrier 9, a little bit of an improvement. Hopefully he'll just ping right out of the gate or catch him when they're all sleeping. So I think he'll probably be a little bit off the pace. A Happy Tango looks like he's the one that's going to be on the pace. So we're looking forward to hopefully him move forward and try to catch him while they're sleeping. So, all right. So Sara is going to go with number 7 Lucky Ruby with Matthew Chadwick. Steve goes for number 9 Wisdom Patch with Zach Purton. And then I go for number 12 Telecom Missile with Keith Young. So now we go from class 4. So we covered the first 2 races. Now we're going to cover the last 2 races, which is a class 3. This is on the 1200 meter all-weather track. It is the Ip Jung handicap. And Sara, I'm out of breath, so go ahead.
Oh, I'm taking the 7 horse in this as well. But this is Valiant Elegance with Jerry Chow aboard, so you do get a little bit of that weight break here. But he's jumping out of barrier 3, and this is another horse who we haven't seen on the all-weather track this year, but ended last year with some really nice races. I mean, early December last year, he had a really nice first placing there and at a class 4 level. And then, kind of came back, didn't have the best of ride at his attempt on December 29th, but kind of took some break and then came to Happy Valley this season and just dominated the turf there at Happy Valley. So I'm really intrigued to see how he's going to come over to this all-weather track to end the season out here, to see how he really does take. This is another horse who really should find the lead. He looks good though. So I'm just very intrigued about this all-weather move. I don't know if it's, attempt to let's see how he takes. It's been a while, or what the decision was kind of late into the season. Let's try the all-weather track, but I like it. If he can come back as he was in December, he should take quite nicely to this track.
And I'm gonna go with you there, but first I'm gonna go with Steve's selection, and that is going to be number 10 Jolly Ruler. So Lyle Hewitson, normally the jockey for the last couple times with Valiant Elegance. So it seems like Jerry Chow comes off the bench when Lyle Hewitson decides to go on another one. So Lyle is actually on the number 10 Jolly Ruler, carrying 53 kilos. Did have a decent start and did get to take a little bit off of him, about 0.5 kgs in that last race. Finished 2.5 lengths behind, but at a big price, $51 or $41, I should say. Lyle Hewitson does get the ride. He's lightly raced. He races about almost once a month. Excuse me. And his all-weather debut looked like to be a good one, especially since he was draw number 12. So now he's draw number 6. So that's going to be Steve's selection. And I am also with Sarah. It seems like whenever one of us is on Valiant Elegance, the other one is. And I'm also on Valiant Elegance as well. I do like that Jerry Chow, who does come off the bench, is the secondary rider for him, because normally it's Lyle Hewitson, and did have a pretty good win back in December, beating him by about 0.2 lengths. We know that he is a speedball, so if he could just take that speed and take him all the way for the 1,200 meters, he does have the stamina. He's only 5 years old, and he did have the hat trick of wins. Probably want to throw that last race out at Happy Valley, because another one of my favorites, You're My Everything, ended up winning that race, and that was on a yielding ground. So we're looking at a more standard track for the all-weather. So me and Sarah, we're going to review this. Ree and Sarah go for Valiant Elegance with Jerry Chow, and then Steve goes for number 10, Jolly Ruler. So now we're going to the feature race. This is a Class 2 race on the turf, 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs, the Chow Silver Plate Handicap. And Sarah, what do we have in the lucky last?
Well, lucky number 7 again. Odd how my odds, like my picks came out 777, but I like 7 Keefe here with Marrera aboard. Jump in barrier 5. We're looking at this horse. He's been exceptional since he came over from Australia. He was really great in Australia, running at much different distances, much longer distances. And then he came here to Hong Kong and started off at the 1,200 meter. Tried out the 1,400, did very, very well, sticking with that 1,400, coming off of a first place last time out. So he is trying for that back-to-back win here. Just a really strong career horse. We're going to see him. He's ending up with great form. He's really a horse for the course here, and he's had really great form ahead and behind of some horses that kind of shocked us this year, such as Escape Route, who was a horse that really seemed to find his footing late in the season. And then he came back to defeat him by 2.3 lengths last time out. So I see this horse continuing his strong streak and getting that back-to-back win.
Yeah, excuse me. And he finally drew another decent barrier number 5, because his last 2 was way on the outside, widest of all, 14. Than number 11, but he seems to be pretty much consistent ever since he came back, now that he's come to Hong Kong, and I guess he's getting climatized and all that. Plus, if you look at collateral form lines, Packing Treadmill was one that's been winning a lot lately. Hasn't been up to form now, but he was a big winner at some point in his career. Steve's also going to go with Keefe as well, 3-year-old, and in the Class 2 race. So this is a talented 3-year-old if you're going to be in the Class 2s and as a high weight. So there might be something. Maybe he might run in the 4-year-olds, the Derby and the Cup and all those other races when he turns 4. So maybe we'll see. He does have the talent, and he's pretty consistent. He dominated the last race by 2.3 lengths. So that's going to be a tough pick. Hard to go around. You know what? I'm going to have to go with you guys as well. I'm going with Keefe. This is a really tough race to end the card, but I think if he doesn't win, then anything could win. But I think that everything else, considering that, he's been really consistent in Australia and then now coming to Hong Kong and seems to be climatized now here, especially winning at $3, and he just gets odds just get shorter and shorter, but that's how much talent he has. I think that Keefe is going to be the one to beat in that race. I mean, it is a tough race because everybody's all going to try to vie for the front. If he could just stay off the pace and then run at them at the end, I think that he'll have a good chance of winning. I mean, nothing against all these other ones. I mean, we've seen all these other ones win before. So like Navis 2, Silvestri, Shining Gem, Beauty Fit, Well, Beauty Fit's been kind of a disappointment. Like, if you think about it, yeah, he's been on the shorts for a while, and then hasn't just been winning. But I mean, you can't really throw him out. I mean, maybe because he is drawn number 11, probably want to lay him. I don't know, but if he does happen to win, it's because I talk crap about him. So, all right. So to review, we are all on number 7, Keefe in the lucky last, and Sarah, we have our best bets.
Yes.
What is your best bet?
Mine comes in at race 7, which is the Chan Trophy Handicap Class 4 over 1,400 meters on the turf. And this is my best bet, and this is for Steve. I am taking the 1 here, Millennium Falcon. I always think
of course you are.
Yes. I always think about Steve with this horse, but I do like him here. He's jumping out of barrier 4. He is the horse for the course. We are getting Jerry Chow aboard this time, where he did ride him last time out at the end of May. I've kind of gone back and forth between Poon and Chadwick. Now we get Chow again for a back-to-back mount. He had a lot of issues in this latter part of the season with mucus buildup, and you could really see how that held him back in some of his races. But he's been off for about 42 days, so hopefully that got a bit cleared up. So we can see him coming back to his true form. He's a very strong horse and just had a bit of a setback mid-season. So I feel like with the decent amount of time that he's had between his last race and coming in this weekend, I think we're going to see this horse come back to form and give us one heck of a performance to end out the season.
Yeah, and we're going off of a pattern here. It looks like he has 2 bad races, then he has a good one. So he has 2 good ones, I should say, in a row. So just one that tries to find his form. I try to forgive a lot of the races that are on the yielding, because you hardly ever see a yielding track in Hong Kong. So it's kind of like it throws everything off. So he raced in one of them, but he wasn't too far off the finish, 3 lengths, an 8th place finish with Matthew Chadwick. So Millennium Falcon, yeah. I mean, he's a pretty good horse. I mean, we've followed him ever since we've been doing the Beer Garden. So it's always good to have a sentimental pick, as what Sarah has. So that is going to be race number 7. The number 1, I'm surprised she didn't pick 7, but she did pick the 7th race. So I guess there's something in that.
There was a 7 in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a 7 in there somewhere. It's a lucky number 7 for Sarah. And Steve his best bet is going to be in race number 8, and that is going to be Exponential. Another one that's a big friend to us of the Beer Garden, I think. I don't know if he's won for us. Probably has.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's been on. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got to pick where is it? I picked the wrong horse. That's not it. Exponential. There we go. So Exponential. Lyle Hewitson gets the ride. Douglas White. We all know that that's a lethal combo as well. Trainer jockey combo with those 2. 6-year-old out of Equano from France does get a better draw in the last 2 races. He was drawn 8, 9. So this time around, even though he won on the bottom class 5, now he's going to be up to the class 4. Now he's going to be up to the class 3. This is a class 3 race, the Stevenson Cup, 1,200 meters. And yeah, he did have a win, so he is up in class. He does go up a little bit on the ratings, so that's why he's carrying 56. But as I mentioned, he is a lethal combo with Lyle Hewitson. Lyle has been winning lately. He's been getting a lot of wins, so he should be on the speed. He should beat out Team Spirit, Reeve Partisan, and Harmony and Bless for it. You know, Lyle always seems to know when to push the horse's button to get the win, but it is a tough field. So I think if he could, as I mentioned in some of these other races, if the speed could put him to sleep, then he's gonna catch them all with their pants down. So that is going to be race number 8, the Stevenson Cup, 1,200 meters for Steve, and that is Exponential. I'm gonna go with race number 6, and I'm going to take, and I normally kind of don't really take him as a best bet, but I am gonna take him this time because this horse does look pretty good. This is the Acruli Trophy Class 4, 1,600. So we're going the mile, the longest distance race that we've picked on this whole entire card. And that is going to be Let's Do It. He hasn't had a win yet. He is in Class 4, drawn barrier 3, did have 2 decent draws, but he is getting there. Seems to progress every time he races within the last couple races, because he had a 6th, a 4th, and then a 2nd at Sha Tin. I think he does like this mile distance. He was an odds-on favorite last time, but now he has to carry another 2 kgs in this race. But you know what? I think that he does have a chance in this one. I mean, Zach Purton, if he knows how to get those horses home with the talent that he has, and I know he wants to win that Jockey's Championship and try to beat Joe Moreira. We're gonna sidetrack real quick. We're down to the end, Sarah, and we have those last 2. So based off of what you've heard or what you've seen, who do you think's gonna win? Joe Moreira or Zach Purton?
This is tough. I'm going to go Purton.
Is it because he was on the show?
No, but I mean, they're both just very tough jockeys. I mean, you're talking about picking an A+ jockey versus an A+ jockey. So, I'll pick Purton.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's really close to seeing how far they've come, and especially Joe and Zach have been like out, but they still have been managing to get winners. So it's going to be tough, and we'd always know that it always comes down to those 2. I don't know what the current standings are between the 2 right now, but I know probably Zach's still in the lead. It all depends on what kind of mounts they get too. I mean, you see Joe or Zach on like a long shot, or what we think is a long shot, like 8-1, 9-1, and they end up winning. They just know how to win. But I think let's do it in this race. Now we're gonna go back to the race. I think Zach probably has the better mounts. Although the last race, Joe has a really good mount as well. So it all depends on what their mounts are. You can't really say like they're going to be the favorite in every race, because favorites don't win all the time, but it's still going to be tough for either of them to try to get the wins. Yeah,
I do have their total wins. Zach Purton at 131 and Joe Moreira's at 129. So we're talking 2 wins to separate these 2 currently. With 3 days left of the meet, it's going to be neck and neck.
Yeah, I mean, Joe could just have a monster day. I mean, Zach had one of those. Alexi Bedell, or no, Karis Teeton had one of those where he had 5 winners at Happy Valley, which is really hard to do. So
yeah,
and he's won on and that day he was winning on long shots. He was winning on favorites. He was just on fire. So it just takes one of those to happen to just takes one of those to win the championship, especially when you've been out with injury. So all right, so we're gonna go back to reviewing our best bets. So I'm race number 6, horse number 1. Let's do it, Zach Purton. Sarah, what's yours again?
Mine is in race number 7, the 1 Millennium Falcon.
And Steve is race number 8, Exponential. So we covered a lot of ground. We covered the majority of the races. Charene's part is going to come up if you wanted to hear her tips as well. Sarah, we're towards the end of the season. It was a lot of fun. We have 2 more meetings left after this. We have a Happy Valley meeting and then the Sha Tin finale. So we're going to get to take a little break after that. But in the meantime, we do have some shows on the Triple Crown that you should be watching out for in the next couple weeks. So hopefully you guys stay tuned.
Thank you, Sarah and Joe. And now it is Steve's time to talk about his selections.
Hi, Steve here. Sorry I couldn't make the Beer Garden podcast on Friday, but here I am looking at the 4 races that we're covering at Sha Tin on Sunday. Races 1, 2, 9 and 10. Race number 1 is a Griffin race over the 1200 metres, where I'll take Zach Purton to draw first blood in the Jockey's Championship with a happy one for trainer Frankie Law, who's also leading the way in the Trainers' Championship. The son of Holy Roman Emperor ran well on debut and is entitled to improve for that experience. In race number 2, it's the first of 2 races run on the dirt surface, and I'm taking Wisdom Patch, who has really improved for the switch to the all-weather surface. He won over course and distance on his penultimate run, and things didn't really pan out for him last time. Zach Purton keeps the faith, and so do I. In race number 9, the penultimate race on the card, that's the second race to be run on the dirt surface. I take a chance with Jolly Ruler, formerly trained by Tom Dascombe in the United Kingdom. In 5 runs, he hadn't shown a great deal in Hong Kong on turf, but he improved last time over course and distance And he was unlucky too. He finished a relatively close-up 5th under Lyle Hewitson. A good run considering he was denied room at a crucial stage, and he was also drawn widest of all in barrier 12. Now it's interesting that Douglas White runs Valiant Elegance, but Lyle Hewitson isn't riding that, and he retains the partnership with Jolly Ruler, who could well improve given a clearer run. And in the final race, the best race of the night, the Class 2 over 1400 metres, I go for the Frankie Law trained Keefe, which also happens to be my best bet, ridden by Joe Moreira. So that's my 4 selections. In race number 1, Happy One. Race 2, Wisdom Patch. Race 9 is Jolly Ruler. And in race 10, and my best bet is Keefe. Good luck to you all on Sunday.
Thank you for watching. Good luck on Sunday. See you next time. Bye bye.
各位早晨，又係你好大叔出咩馬嘅時間，事不宜遲，即刻同大家介紹下嚟緊7月10號嘅沙田賽，大叔會同你講咩馬？介紹嘅係第3場9號幸運天賜，場次752，佢排1檔起步，沿途跟手前列位置入到這度，望空衝刺，雖然嗰個反應係一般，但係佢依然都可以保持喺前列位置跑一直第3名。等下先啊！呢匹馬最初喺徐宇石馬房頭3場嘅名次都係慘不忍睹，直至到上一次轉頭用天牌馬房嘅第一次上陣已經有第3名。今次繼續由周俊樂策騎。我相信可以趁季尾呢啲時候可以贏翻一場，希望到時騎師發揮能夠正常。另外就臨場際遇會好翻少少啊。另外想介紹頭場嘅1號永遠朋友俾大家。上一次係佢輸咗俾吉吉利高，雖然個距離比較遠。但係今次冇吉吉利高之下，無啦啦騎翻呢匹永遠朋友，我相信佢有機會可以喺呢場賽事取勝。好，今次嘅介紹嚟到呢度，多謝大家，拜拜。
Hello， 大家好，又係 BONO 講心水嘅時間啦。嚟到季尾階段啦，大家揀馬嘅時候啦，都會以一啲咧鬥志比較鮮明啲嘅馬房咧為之咧有信心一啲嘅。譬如羅富全啊，或者徐宇石咁樣，咁佢哋嘅參戰馬咧，現時戰意咧仍然係非常之好嘅。而其實仲有一類嘅參戰賽區咧，現時咧鬥志都係100%㗎，就係一啲咧有特別獎金啊要爭取嘅馬匹啊。睇翻啱啱星期3尾場嘅賽事啊，呂健威咧出一對馬嘅，分別係聖不驕同埋心之行。聖不驕較早前咧已經贏咗2班，攞咗呢個獎金啊。反而佢嘅舊女心之行咧，當晚咧仍然咧係需要爭取咧贏馬去攞呢個獎金。從臨場啦嗰個走位啊，或者騎師個發揮咧，都明顯見到啊，心之行咧似乎係嗰場馬房嘅主力嚟嘅。只不過可惜啦，後追不及，輸咗俾嗰匹咧經典之星。咁但係現階段都見到啦，始終有嘢爭嘅馬匹咧，佢臨場嗰個鬥志咧，仍然都會比較好一啲嘅。嚟到星期日嘅尾場啦，有同樣嘅情況喎。有4匹馬咧都有特別獎金可以爭㗎。分別就係3號嘅少爺仔、7號馬佬、8號知道在勝同埋9號嘅旭日升嘅。而當中馬佬現時仲係3歲啊，咁即係話出年轉咗4歲咧，佢仲可以攞呢個獎金。反而啦，其餘3匹啊，而家仲係4歲嘅南半球馬，過咗暑假咧就轉做5歲。咁即係話佢今次咧應該係最後一個機會咧去爭呢個特別獎金㗎啦。而3匹馬當中啦，我自己較為睇好嘅咧就係8號嘅知道在勝嘅。首先啦，其實佢喺今季咧都曾經喺2班有個好接近嘅表現㗎啦。咁當時咧只係輸俾寶城智勝同埋咧中華盛景兩匹咧準2班馬，大概1個馬位到嘅啫。咁證明咗咧喺2班咧其實佢啲能力可以爭下嘅。第二就係今場啦，佢比其餘2匹馬嘅排檔比較好一啲。排住咗7檔啦。咁起步唔會太慢之下咧，有機會啦，可以賺到一個咧私家3欄啊，組段咧比較前置啊、內疊嘅形勢嘅。咁而第3亦都係最重要一環咧，就係佢喺3匹馬入邊咧會係最好分嗰匹喎。 咁啊開飛見到咧有大概20倍嘅賠率。咁啊以佢其實喺2班咧有個好接近嘅表現啦，今場咧有20倍分頭咧，絕對係抵博嘅。咁所以今次咧我就推介呢一匹啦，半冷門俾大家參考啊。第10場啊，8號呢匹咧知道在勝嘅。第二同場亦都有匹馬咧，今場相信戰意咧都比較好一啲嘅，就係呢匹咧10號嘅線路之星啊。嗱呢匹馬其實今季喺3班咧搏嚟搏去咧都只係接近，但係就贏唔到馬。除咗佢一向跑得比較被動啦，咁啊欠運，所以贏唔到馬之外咧，仲有一個好主要原因啊，就係因為佢插班咧平80分啦，喺3班咧就經常要孭住個133磅嘅頂幫佢跑啦。對呢匹咧唔夠1001磅嘅馬嚟講，其實咧都幾大壓力嘅。而今場因為係一個2、3班嘅混合賽啊，評分上限咧就去到90分，咁所以佢今次只需要係孭住124磅去出戰啦，係佢嚟到香港之後咧，咁啊孭得最輕磅嘅一次。我有信心相信咧，佢今次嘅表現咧可以比以往咧有大幅嘅改善嘅。咁睇下佢可唔可以咧喺香港咧贏到第一次嘅頭馬啦。所以綜合翻我今次嘅提供啦，喺尾場有2匹嘅半冷門心水，分別就係8號嘅知道在勝同埋咧10號嘅線路之星嘅。咁希望幫到大家啦。我今次嘅心水講到呢度啦，我哋下條片再見啦，祝各位好運，拜拜。